ABC Listen. Podcasts, radio, news, music and more.
From today, Instagram is making changes to how teenagers can access the platform. It's a first for a social media giant as concerns grow about harmful content. But do the new accounts just for kids go far enough? Or is an outright ban on social media the only answer? Today, tech reporter Ange Lavoipierre on the tools that could keep teens out and what it means for all of us. I'm Sam Hawley on Gadigal land in Sydney. This is ABC News Daily. And at the moment, Meta, which runs Facebook and Instagram, it requires people who sign up to be at least 13 years old. But, we all know that's not very hard to get around. It's a rule that can be easily broken, let's face it.
Yeah, totally. It's a tick box exercise at the outset when you sign up, so really the lowest of low hurdles to clear.
So Meta wants to, I presume, to be seen to be doing more, and it's focusing for now on Instagram. So tell me about these teen accounts that it wants to bring in.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. The experience of being on Instagram is about to change pretty dramatically for teenagers in Australia, in the US, in the UK and in Canada. So these are compulsory teen accounts. They'll come with new rules for any users known to be under 18, and I worded that very specifically. We'll come back to it.
Yes.
And it'll limit what kind of content they can view, who can contact them. There's also a bunch of safety features and extra parental controls there as well. It's really important that it's default. That's quite a big shift. It's completely automatic for everyone under 18. So under the new system, 16 and 17-year-olds will be able to opt themselves out, but any users under 16, so 15 and below, they will need a parent or a guardian's permission to opt out. The change will be immediate for any new users signing up from today onwards, and existing users that, say that they're in those age groups I mentioned, they will notice the change over the next 2 months. So it's going to be sort of phased in. They're going to be switching accounts across.
Okay, so Ange, this isn't a ban. It's rather restricting the type of content that people under the age of 18 will be able to see.
Yeah, that's right. And we don't know exactly what the content is. Some of the examples I was given include videos of fighting or any material that might promote cosmetic procedures. And then you've got some more obvious candidates too, like sexually explicit material.
Interestingly, and I guess this is really important, adults that a child doesn't know won't be able to actually contact them on Instagram because, of course, there is a real risk, isn't there, out there of predators preying on young people on platforms like this?
Yeah, so the teen accounts will be automatically private. It was really interesting to hear Instagram say that this request was coming from teenagers in consultation. They're not enjoying the contact from strangers because, like you said, Sam, so much of it is creepy or outright predatory. And so this isn't just about what parents want. They've also tried, they say, to take into account the wishes of teenagers as well.
Instagram's also going to bring in this so-called sleep mode. What's that all about?
Another key concern that parents and, teenagers as well raise, as well as the content and the contact from strangers, is screen time, which is a conversation in every house, right?
Yes, get off your phone.
Yeah, get off your phone. And really, these changes are designed to address that. So sleep mode is going to be automatic from 10 p.m. till 7 a.m. And if you've been lucky enough to find your, do not disturb feature or equivalent on your smartphone, you'll know what that means. It's no notifications. There's also going to be a nudge when users on teen accounts hit that 1 hour mark over the course of a day to get off the platform. And they're building in some extra parental controls as well. So you can set hard time limits for the child that will, stop them from exceeding it. They won't just get a nudge, they'll get cut off. So yeah, lots is about to change.
So, Ange, it seems like a pretty positive step by Meta and Instagram, but as you alluded to before, how do they know when you're under 18? Have they given any details about how they will actually enforce this new rule?
Yeah, age lying is a problem. They're upfront about that. They know that that's the case. We all know that that's the case. There are some measures that are already there. So, at the moment, you can't just go in and change your birthday to make it seem like you're older than 18 without verifying your age. And that's been the case since 2022, and that'll continue. But on top of that, Meta is saying, if you don't like these changes, you can't necessarily just go and make a new account with a different age, because if it's on the same device, they will be able to detect it and flag it. They're developing new AI tools to analyse user behaviour, which basically means that, ideally, it'll be able to tell whether you're a teenager based on your behaviour online, your networks, how you interact with content. Now, that's a while off, but it is being trialled in the US next year. They're not overly forthcoming about what all the measures are, and they said that the reason that they're not being more upfront is because they don't want to give teenagers an instruction manual on how to circumvent these efforts to catch them out. Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, told a few Australian journalists in a briefing that it would be great if we could get 70% of teen users onto teen accounts ultimately, which, that's a long way off perfect, but it's also 100% more than there were yesterday.
And by the way, I guess Instagram does not want to lose those people off their platform. So I guess there's also lots of questions that we need to keep asking of Instagram if we don't have all the details about how this will work. So, Ange, Meta's announcement takes in one social media platform, which is Instagram, and there are so many more. So this announcement from Instagram certainly doesn't go as far as the Albanese government would want, because last week the Prime Minister announced that he wants to implement an outright social media ban, possibly for kids as old as 16, within this term of Parliament.
I want to see kids off their devices and onto the footy fields and the swimming pools and the tennis courts. We want them to have real experiences with real people, because we know that social media is causing social harm.
We didn't get a lot of detail, though, from him, did we?
No, just really that the ban is coming and that they're going to try and do it before the end of the year. It's all been prompted, all this sudden activity, because the South Australian government came out a few days earlier with its own plan for an age limit, and Anthony Albanese decided that he wanted to get out in front of that.
This is a scourge. We know that there is mental health consequences for what many of the young people have had to deal with. The bullying that can occur online, the access to material which causes social harm. And parents are wanting a response. We're working with state
and in South Australia, they want to ban social media for anyone that's under the age of 14, and they've actually drafted a bill. It also requires that social media companies really take steps to stop children under that age accessing their platforms. But at a federal level, they haven't decided on an age. So it could be 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, very interesting to see where they do land on the question of age, because that is an open question. We won't know about what that cutoff age is until after this all-important trial of age verification technology is done. So this was announced before the budget. It's apparently in its final stages now.
So tell me then more about this age verification technology and how it would actually stop kids accessing social media, how it would actually be enforced.
Yeah, so important to say as well that the two go hand in hand. We can't actually have any kind of meaningful age limit unless that age verification technology is there. It pretty well does exist. I mean, it's the same family of technology that, most of us have used to verify your identity with a bank, to get a government digital ID. Really, though, the tension here is around privacy. Because the more reliable the method of verification, ID, age, whatever, the higher the risk is to your privacy. Like, if you think about it, the gold standard would be handing over a government document like your driver's license or your birth certificate, but that's not something you want in just anybody's hands. There's many approaches, many kinds of technology that are on the table here. There's one that's favoured by the e-Safety Commissioner, which is called a double-blind tokenized approach. That's really about dealing with a middleman, a company that you would prove your identity and your age to, and that would then issue a token that would prove to whether it's a social media company or a porn site or whatever that you are as old as you say you are.
Even if you're over 18, you'd still need to get this token, right? Because that's how you're going to prove who the kids are.
Right. This is the part that I think a lot of people haven't put together when they barrack for a social media age limit, is that it doesn't just mean it changes for young people. It means we'll all have to prove our age. We'll all have to go through this process if we want to participate online. And we'll have to ask ourselves some hard questions about who we want to trust with that data.
But Ange, I guess the question is whether an outright ban, like the federal government is proposing, is the right way forward, or is it better just to make the space safer so that when kids go on to Instagram or TikTok or any other social media platform, they're actually safe on there and seeing things that they're meant to see and not seeing things that they really shouldn't be?
Yeah, some of the arguments around this are that, look, social media isn't the only unsafe place on the internet. If you want to get every dark corner of the internet to participate, it's going to be a very long piece of legislation. It's just not going to happen. And the other argument is that you don't suddenly become invulnerable when you turn 16. And if you lock kids out until they're 16, they're still going to land back in that muck, but they're going to be doing it without any acclimatization, without any kind of skills for navigating it.
Governments want social media companies to take action. We know that. So Instagram is doing something. Do you think that will be enough for the government?
I don't think it'll be enough to stop this train that's kind of coming for social media. It does feel like it's got its own head of steam now, but it's certainly a big step for an industry that has historically been pretty intransigent when it comes to taking these big important steps to make their platforms safer for young people. There are some really significant changes here.
Ange Lavoipierre is the ABC's national technology reporter. This episode was produced by Sydney Peed and Cara Jensen-McKinnon. Audio production by Sam Dunn. Our supervising producer is David Cody. I'm Sam Hawley. Thanks for listening.